Okay, first of all, so I did a full video about my understanding at the time of what went down at the Indigenous Peoples March. And my narrative was somewhat similar to what most people have heard, is that this group of kids from Covington Catholic High School showed up and took it upon themselves to disrupt the Indigenous Peoples March. As it turns out, in light of new information, that is inaccurate, and that's why I've deleted my video.
Correct.
And for that one reason and that one reason alone, I find no other fault in my... I didn't actually speak in the video. I used text and a bunch of different footage from different pieces and angles and things, and from some different creators, and I stand by all of that footage. It's accurate footage because it's just raw footage of what was going on. There was nothing nefarious in the intent of the footage, but it's come to light that there's... So this is the one thing I'm retracting, and it's important. I think it's an incredibly important point, is the kids from the fascist training camp, Covington Catholic High School, did not initiate what went down at the Indigenous Peoples March. It is a fucking fascist training camp, and I stand by that. And that's why everything else in my video and everything that we said in our What the Fuck report last night, in our narratives of our critique of the behaviors of those kids and the institution that trained them to be that way, I stand by it 100% fucking completely. But to say that they initiated that was inaccurate, and that is my mistake as a creator, and that's why the video is gone.
You know, Covington Catholic has something that no one else has. When you come to Covington Catholic High School, you're going to be a well-rounded individual. Look at the makeup of our young man and the integrity that they have day in and day out that we're producing. I think that separates us from all the other schools.
So they're running that club or presidents of their fraternity. They're the leaders.
Academics and sports are important, but at Covington Catholic they also include humanity.
And turning them into men and preparing them for a very tough and competitive world. And I think they're given a very strong foundation and given the basic tools that they need going forward to thrive in that kind of an environment.
If you ask kids that go to public schools, they think that the boys that go to Covington Catholic are at a higher standard. They're polite, they're mannerly, they're smart. It sets the bar for how young men should be.
And y'all stole it from the Aboriginals. You stole it through all of history. Land gets stolen. It's how it works. It's the way it'll work.
Really, Covington Catholic is the best deal going because not only do the boys get a good education here, but it's the whole experience that I think that they don't get at a public school.
Our school motto is with a spirit that will not die. And sometimes it is just a motto at a lot of places, but here, the spirit that you see at sporting events or at the drama club or whatever you do when you get into Covington Catholic High School, there's a spirit that stays with you not only throughout your time at school, but throughout the rest of your life.
The goal of Covington Catholic
Journalists and celebs rush to delete tweet slamming MAGA hat kids. Over the past 24 hours, journalists, and this is from Mediaite, over the past 24 hours, journalists and public figures on Twitter have deleted previous posts slamming a group of MAGA hat-wearing teens for allegedly taunting a Native American vet after more footage was released disputing the initial story. From CNN's Jake Tapper to Dilbert cartoonist Scott Adams, many on the internet are sharing a fuller explanation of the initial viral story. Others, however, are very subtly just using the delete button. Recode editor at New York Times contributing co-op writer Kara, for instance, Kara Swisher, for instance, deleted one tweet saying she was thinking of, quote, finding every one of these shitty kids and giving them a very large piece of my mind, and throwing slurs like Nazi and nationalist. Sinclair chief political correspondent Scott Thurman deleted a tweet alleging students in MAGA hats were mocking and taunting a Native American in front of the Lincoln Memorial in D.C., asking in a new tweet if the new video changed minds about the kids. After Trump activist anti-Trump activist Ed Krasenstein deleted a neutral tweet contemplating the intentions of Nick Sandman, that's the kid who was facing off against Nathan Phillips, the young MAGA student accused of smirking at a Native American. His brother Brian Krasenstein deleted a tweet calling the students bigoted. The New Republic's Jeet Here deleted a tweet arguing the MAGA hat-wearing teens were racist. CNN's Bakari Sellers deleted a tweet suggesting the kids should be, quote-unquote, punched in the face. Hollywood's Patton Oswalt deleted a tweet linking to a critical thread that didn't go so far as dox the teens but identified alleged culture problems at the school. Oswald did leave up subsequent retweets maintaining his position that they were at fault. And CNN's Ana Navarro deleted a tweet calling out the asswipe parents of the students for teaching them bigotry and racism.
That stuff's all true. I mean, I don't.
Right. Why would you delete that shit?
A minor, but
literally none of that should have been deleted.
All true.
Why would you delete any of that?
They didn't start it.
If anyone can get sued for any of that, then Donald Trump would literally be 100% bankrupt by now.
Right.
For all the shit that he said on Twitter since 2015 or whatever, or even before that.
What's that, Mike?
Bobby said in the chat the fact the entire school staff locked their Twitters immediately speaks volumes.
Yes, it does.
Soberpunk mocking chants and drummers is pretty goddamn racist.
Yep.
Whatever you do when you get into Covington Catholic High School, there's a spirit that stays with you not only throughout your time at school, but throughout the rest of your life.
The goal at Covington Catholic is to develop successful young Christian men. Their track record is pretty remarkable.
I think people are starting to see the importance of this type of education.
When you see our kids and you see our facilities and you see what's happening, I would encourage them just to take a look for themselves. I don't have to speak for Covington Catholic, it speaks for itself.
What's weird is that you don't even hear any of these people's like teachers or parents or whatnot saying like, our kids acted poorly and we're going to punish them and explain to them exactly what they did, right? Like that's all it would have taken. That's all it would have taken. But yeah, this is those Wisconsin school kids who were given the Zeke Heil. And I don't know, people are digging up stuff on these other kids about the practices at the school. You don't need to. There's no way these kids show up in that situation, act that way, and all you need to do is see their parents' reaction. All you need to do is know the fact that there was no teachers or chaperones there who told them not to do this. You don't need to see anything else because they don't pop out of the womb like that. They get grown. They get raised like that. And again, if these 15-year-old kids were black or brown, the entire country right now would be having a moment of like, what's wrong with the culture of black and brown people that their parents don't care about the way these kids act? I mean, that's what we would be hearing.
No, I see 100 little Brett Kavanaughs when I look at them, and it's horrifying.
That was one of the things when Brett Kavanaugh was just like, I'm allowed to get away with that at that age.
That's how you raise rapists. Seriously. Someone just sent me another video clip. I don't know if you want to play it. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen anything, but let's see what it is. I mean, I don't know.
I IM'd it to you in G-Chat.
Do we know what's in it?
It says newest. I mean, this is a tweet. We can watch the video, but it says newest video to surface of the Covington kids shows one of them yelling to a group of girls. It's not rape if you enjoy it.
Oh yeah, no, that was they weren't yelling that to the girls. They were yelling that to the black Israelites, and I think it was in the context of I'm not sure exactly what it was the context of, but we can play it if you want. But I mean, look, it's clear that we don't need. I mean, we've seen it. This is when they were confronting the black Israelites.
It's not rape if you enjoy it.
Yeah, there's more to that.
I think they said they were going to rape the kid.
There's something
they were being like flippant in that.
I suspect they were talking about historical or whatnot. It is. I think that's taken out of context, but nevertheless, there's enough context there that still it's damning stuff.
Now they're wrong about how they read scripture, but they're right about the devil.
I don't think that they fully intended to go there to do that, right? They just came up on this thing, and when they're there, something happens, right, Bobby?
Well, there's just so much shit to unpack with that situation. Like, first of all, if you saw, like, when they pan out and they show how many fucking kids were really there, there's like 100 kids there, and I didn't see any fucking adults. And as someone that worked in the Board of Ed, like, we only had like 20 kids tops in a classroom in special ed. You're fucking constantly head counting, worried about what's going to happen. If someone of the kids get hurt, you get a fucking lawsuit. So what I don't understand is how are all those kids standing there all by themselves, not being supervised whatsoever? Like, I understand you let the kids go off and come back at a certain time, but like, I don't know. Like, there should have been an adult there, first of all. And what are those guys? Like, listen, those guys were talking shit and yelling all kinds of junk disparaging people for being gay.
What guys, Bobby?
Huh?
What guys, Bobby?
Oh, the black Hebrew Israelites. You know, like they were all like, oh, you're all protesting abortion, but what about gay people? They didn't say gay people though. They I don't want to say it on the live stream, but they were using like some nasty language. There was a black kid among the
Yeah, I heard they called him the N-word.
Yes,
yeah,
they
they
did.
called that kid the N-word. They were like, oh, you think they're your friends?
Like with the hard R.
So this is hold on, guys. Because the reason I wanted to bring Bobby on is because he knows some back history of this group. So I'm going to give him.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a chance to do that. But first, so what happens is they're on the steps. There's this group, the Black Hebrews or the Black Hebrew Israelites. Okay, and these guys, and I've seen the video of it this morning. And this is when I knew I had to delete my videos this morning when I saw this. Was that these guys they called these kids, listen, they're high school kids, and a lot of their behavior towards Nathan Phillips, they're old enough to answer for it. But these Black Hebrew Israelites were calling them incest babies. And
yeah,
like,
that's all right.
really gross shit to children, man.
School shooters.
Yeah, school shooters and like they're all rapists and just really disgusting, taunting them and really arrogantly, like the way Fash taunt us in a lot of ways.
Right. Well, they are fascist because the Black Hebrew Israelites are considered a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Okay.
So
hold on, one more thing, and then I promise I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah.
So they're doing that. They're just taunting them, and then the way these kids react is, I think, the way any teenager, even though these are little like fascists in training, they just kind of did all their cheers and got together and, fuck you. Why are you yelling at us? Fuck you, homie. And then Nathan Phillips, the righteous indigenous elder that he is, the long experienced, wise man that he is, stepped in to play his drum and play his song to try to diffuse what was happening between these two people. Right?
He saw the ugliness and he stepped in.
Yep.
That's right.
He absolutely got in between it. I honestly believe that. He got in between the two sides of hate.
As as a total peacemaker, and it's just clear you can't watch any footage of him and see him as being anything other than like an appeal to love and peace and harmony. Period. So the kids did. Now their reaction when they went off on and the way they treated Nathan is completely unacceptable. And it is all those tweets we talked about deleting. Those were all accurate shit about their behavior in that moment. When Nathan Phillips walked in to try to diffuse the situation, the way those students handled it is that becomes a whole nother story, and it's inexcusable. And I think
they were acting.
And it speaks completely 100% to the Covington Catholic School, the Covington Catholic Church, the fucking Covington Diocese. It speaks to the parents of those kids that went out and bought them all that brand new Trump gear and has bolstered this toxic fucking environment that they're raised in, which they have one black student. One. It's all white male, go Trump. They got fucking John Wayne in the hallway of their fucking...
You know what they call that, right?
What do they call it? Like
token.
Yeah, I mean that's the word that's used, man. But listen, I don't want to belittle him that way because look, I mean, this is one kid who might have an opportunity that others don't, and I'm happy that he has entree into something that people from his community don't normally do, and I wouldn't want to belittle him as calling him that. Because he's a human being, bro. And like...
Yeah, I don't know.
But to them, I'll guarantee you, they're all his best buddy, but I'll guarantee you they are all talking about N-word jokes with him constantly, and he's cool with it. Because if he's not cool with it, then what? And then they'll be like, he don't care, he's our homie, because I don't know that they do this, but this is so rampant in...
but it happens.
When communities where it's all white people with one black friend... They're always telling N-word jokes to their black friend. And
they think it's okay because, hey, he says it's okay, so we can do it.
Right.
which is
Bobby,
fucking.
was it you that I was talking to that there was an article about that there was actually another school there, and I did in
Oh, I
one
didn't
of the
see that.
videos see a couple girls, and it's an all-boys school, so I'm thinking that that's correct.
Yeah, I didn't see
there
any
was
of
like
that.
another school there for the march. I don't know the
No, it's-
name of that school.
In the promo video that I watched, there's no female students at Catholic high school.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's true. They were there for what fucking, I mean, no public school could send the kids to a fucking any march, but private schools, you know, they're sending fucking kids to, I don't understand it. Why are you sending people under the age of 18 right to life marches?
Yeah.
Because it's a fascist
Why?
fucking training camp.
Right. What? Yeah. What? I can't think of any other possible reason why that would be. It's like
It's indoctrination.
Adults trying.
Public schools would get sued.
Right. Public schools will get sued for trying to mold these malleable kids' political views.
And isn't it
That's
weird?
why we can't take. Yes, they're fascists and yes, they're wrong, but they're still kids.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's They like I touched this in my report that's gonna release soon. It's like they need a stern talking to, but at the same time, it's like
Right.
you know, if you look at it as two sides spouting violent rhetoric against each other, yeah, it's both. You know, it's considered violent because of what it represents, but in that situation, let's be fair. An unfair fight's an unfair fight.
So, Bobby,
You know, I think those kids just need a little more stick than carrot. You know?
Yeah.
Because it worked on our generation. You know?
Yeah.
You spoke out of line and you said some dumb shit, you were held accountable for it.
Well,
Nobody's
well,
held
there
accountable
it
for
is.
anything anymore.
And just to be, and like, yeah, that, well, here's the thing is like, they've obviously not been taught enough life lessons to differentiate between the Black Hebrew Israelites and Nathan Phillips. And to me,
to be fair, a lot of people don't really know who that group is.
well, right, but still the bottom line is, you don't have to know any of their affiliations or their history. It's just, this man
Yeah,
playing
exactly.
his drum is not the person that was calling you names. Why are you treating him this way? And and that's why an adult, there was an adult there, and in the video that I deleted, I showed a picture of him, and I think I got it from you, Bobby.
Probably.
Oh no! Well, there's a priest that was their chaperone, and he's the one that took them to the March for Life.
When he was like posing in front of something with the hat on.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
And so he's the adult that was there. Now his role should have been at that time to step in and go, whoa, like.
Yeah.
I think the way they handled their reaction to the Black Hebrew Israelites was actually pretty cool. They did school cheers and just said, "Fuck you, we're gonna be who we are, and this is who we are. We're
That's
from the
usually
school
what
we go
happens
to."
in Times Square.
Totally
You know,
okay, right?
They usually get drowned out.
But then what should have happened when they directed their efforts onto Nathan is the adults from their fucking community should have said, whoa, students, whoa, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do is not demonize the kids too much for not having the life experience to understand the situation they were in. And that's why adult supervision is so important. And that's why a public school would never take your fucking kids to something like this. And
you know, also, we can't ignore the fact that the media is a lot to blame for all of this.
Yep.
Because they came out right away, oh, these kids were fighting with black Muslims. And it's like, just leave it to the fucking mainstream media to get it so wrong. And of course you hear that and you're going to automatically choose sides.
They're not black Muslims at all.
At all.
They're not Islamophobic, actually.
And so this is the thing. So here it is, Bobby. You actually, in your neighborhood, you were telling me this today. So Bobby's not an expert on Black Hebrew Israelites, but he definitely has firsthand experiences with them. So anecdotal explanation, just to be clear, right? But you do have past experiences. I'm going to say not with those guys. That was DC, but
yeah, but that organization.
So go ahead. Tell us about what you know about them, homie.
Just a little background. The Black Hebrew Israelites were founded like sometime in like the mid 80s, I believe in Kansas. And they immigrated up to like New York City, and they got chapters all over. But the Southern Poverty Law Center has them labeled a hate group, and they're a right-wing group. I mean, if you listen to their rhetoric, if you listen to if their behavior, their tactics, they're like the alt-right or more comparable to like something like white Aryan resistance, but like the black version, you know? And they just, like, they disparage gay people when they walk by them, if they disparage interracial couples, white people, and you can go on YouTube and type in Black Hebrew Israelites Times Square, and you'll see dozens of videos. And like they dress up in like their costumes, like if they're Egyptian, and they interpret the Bible from like an extreme black supremacist.
And the Torah too.
Yeah, they incorporate the Torah as well, and they just.
They believe they're the real Hebrews, right? They believe they're the real descendants of Abraham and Moses.
The original Hebrews, and that the Bible says that white people are a scientific experiment gone wrong. Like they're steeped in conspiracy theory.
Yep.
And they basically just scream like anything at like any marginalized group that walks by them. You know, it's like they'll even yell at black people that they see walking with white people. They'll yell at white people. And they do it right next to the cops. Like in Times Square, like the cops have like a makeshift precinct where like it's like a little post, and they'll be like within like a block of that because they know if anything goes down, the cops are right there and they're gonna intervene. You know, and there's a lot of them too. Like you don't really want to fuck with them. There's like usually 20 or 30 of them on the corner, and they just preach from the Bible and they preach their interpretation of it, and they're good. Like they have like the Bible memorized where like somebody will walk by and say something to them and the leader will snap his fingers and be like, read for me, blah, 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 blah. And the way they read it and the way they interpret it, it's like, wow, like these guys definitely study the shit and like know how to manipulate the Bible to fucking say what they want to say. And it's just, listen, like I hate the fact that I have to fucking defend like these little snot-nosed brats with MAGA hats.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't want anybody to think I'm defending them because I think those kids are old enough to fucking know what they're doing is wrong.
Totally.
Yeah, you know, but the whole context of the situation was these guys were yelling at a bunch of teenagers. The teenagers reacted, and then it just turned into a big mess. And honestly, the media doesn't give a fuck because this is a great story that polarizes people that they can make a lot of money off of.
Yeah.
And you know, that's what it's all going to boil down to, you know. But at least the one good thing, like the one like, you know, positive thing from it is that this guy Nathan and his cause, the whole indigenous people's cause is going to be elevated because everybody sees them in a positive light. You know, and that's what's good. That's what's important. The fact that their cause is going to get some amplification out of this, and he looks like a hero of it.
So don't tell me that. Right, since you want to brag about being a doctor, your medicine is nothing but witchcraft. And it kills off the poor blacks and Hispanics. That's what your medicine does. Give me a break about you being a doctor, man. Right? Yes. I hate you damn Arabs like you hate us. I hate you other nations like you hate us. Yes. See that? Because all you would do is open a damn 7-Eleven or chicken restaurant in my neighborhood and sell my people poison. All right, let's continue with the work. Get out of here, man. You other nations, man. Don't come up here like we're supposed to have peace with y'all. Get the hell out of here. Hallelujah. What does Sambo say? What does Sambo say?
Super Sambo.
I thought Jesus said it. Hey, Sambo, what you say, Sambo? Sambo. Yeah, Sambo, what you say? No, my name is Jamal Kareem Hayward. Jamal Kareem Sambo. Jamal Kareem Sambo. Yeah. See, anytime the niggas got them 3 names, that's that Sambo. That's that Sambo. Jamal Kareem. Jamal Kareem. Where you from? Where you from? Alabama? Do you know where those gems come from? Where you from? Alabama? Where do your gems come from? There goes Sambo. What are your gems? Right, give me Proverbs 17. What are your red, black, and your heart? Where did it come from? Right, Proverbs 17, 15. Jamal Kareem. You know where this comes from? Jamal Kareem. You know where? We're growing facial hair. Do you know that? God's brother Jamal Kareem. You know shit. God's brother
Proverbs chapter 17, verse 15.
What Lord say?
He that justifieth the wicked, and he that condemneth the just.
What Lord say?
He that condemneth the just.
He that justify the wicked, and he, shit. Better give here for the top. Hold on.
He that justifieth the wicked.
Where's Jamal Kareem going?
You picking on her because you think you can get her ass. But you know what, son? I'm gonna tell you something, son. Where them Jews come off of your fucking head, huh? Where they come off, huh? Where they come? Talk to me. Tell me about the Jews on your head. You can't tell me about the Jews on your head. You know why? They do come from Africa, but you know what? You drunk. You don't know.
That's what I know. You're drunk. You're drunk. You're a drunk country nigga that don't know a damn thing.
That's right.
What color?
That might be a sodomite.
What color are you?
It's such a bad word.
What color are you? What color are you? What color are you? What color are you? You call me a nigga? Stay in your place, boy. Stay in your place. Stay in your place, boy. Stay in your place, Jamal Kareem. Stay in your place, Jamal Kareem. Back up, brother. Read.
He that justifieth the wicked, and he that condemneth the just,
No, I'm gonna say this.
even they are both an abomination.
That's the biggest goddamn host in the spot. You don't know shit. Everybody. You don't know shit. You know what the face Hey yo, watch. Hey yo, watch. Hey yo. You a gay in Africa. Watch your disrespect, motherfucker. Watch your disrespect. Watch your disrespect, boy. All right, go, brother. Read. That is drunk Sambo Coon Negro.
And a sodomite.
Right there.
And a sodomite.
Too, yeah. Drunk Sambo Coon Negro. My God. Don't know this woman from nowhere.
Disrespect, you know the definition of disrespect? That's kindness, that's feeling empathy. Do you understand what empathy is, or is that too big of a word for you?
He that justifieth the wicked.
You still can't tell me your nationality, doctor. God, brother, read.
He that condemneth the just.
What the Lord say?
He that condemneth the just.
I guess the demons got to mess with me before I go. Read again, brother.
Do you know anything?
He that justifieth the wicked, and he that condemneth the just, even they both.
What's your nationality? What's your
Do you
nationality?
understand that? You
What is your
answered my
nationality?
question. You understand? You
What's your nationality?
You answer my
No, answer mine first. Before we go any further. What's your nationality? Read on, brother. Read.
He that justifieth the wicked.
Right, God.
There's a scripture for the witch. You're anti-Israel, correct?
Say it again.
You're anti-Israel?
I'm anti-false Israel.
No. Meanwhile, you're wearing a Jewish tie on your neck.
Yes, because I'm the real Jew.
That's right.
Exodus 22 and 18.
Come on.
Thou shalt not envy the real Jews. That's what you do. You envy the real Jews.
But it's a righteous envy.
Hey, doctor.
You know what?
You don't know the first thing about it.
You know what I'm mad about? Because they haven't got blown up out of the land yet.
That's good.
You're the real Jews. And then a false Jew. There go the homo. There go the homo. Right, there go the homo.
Did you have a bar mitzvah?
That's
right. God, brother, read.
Exodus 22 and 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
What did the Lord say?
Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
This witch doctor, what did the Lord say?
Thou shalt not suffer a witch to
The Lord said,
live.
thou shalt not suffer a witch God to live. So you witches gonna be put to death by the Heavenly Father. You doctors ain't nothing but no witch, but some witches, man, and you gonna be put to death. Right? You gonna be put to death. Yeah, let's go. Go ahead. Go back.
Let me just say one last thing. You guys, these people are clowns. They're preaching hatred.
Proverbs 28 and 1. Right, there you go, you witch.
The wicked flee.
What Lord say?
The wicked flee when no man pursue it.
Come on.
But the righteous are as bold as a lion.
See that the wicked flee when no man pursue, but the righteous stand here bold like lions.
That's right.
Give me St. Mark 1:15. I'm out of here, man. By St. Mark 1:15. Had to have the Jamal Kareem Coon.
St. Mark.
Jamal Kareem Coon and a little Arab East Indian, whatever the hell she is. Right? Even if, all right, for argument's sake, even if she was a lack, which I doubt. Right? She's some kind of heathen, or maybe she wasn't 10 tribes. Whatever. You're a doctor, which you might be lying. Doctors are nothing but witches, man. The so-called white man's medicine is damn witchcraft. The only time it work on you is when the Most High allows it to. Right, God, brother, read what you got, brother, read.
Mark chapter 1, verse 15.
Come on.
And saying, The time is
The
fulfilled.
Lord said the time is fulfilled. Come on.
And the kingdom of the Most High is at hand.
The kingdom of the Lord is at hand. Come on.
Repent ye.
What the Lord say?
Repent ye.
Christ said, repent ye. Come on.
And believe the gospel.
Israel, you so-called black, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, repent as Israelites and come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible and come into unity with each other according to the scriptures. With that, death and destruction to America, the white man, and the other nations, power, peace, safety, in the kingdom of heaven, to the 12 tribes of Israel forever and ever. Amen. The nation of Israel will rule forever and ever. Amen. Who got next?
We got next.
Who got next?
We got next.
For how long?
Forever.
For how long?
Forever.
What we gonna do?
Take the kingdom.
What we gonna do?
Take the kingdom.
When?
Now.
When?
Now.
How?
Ba'ashima Mashiach Yahushua.
How?
Ba'ashima Mashiach Yahushua.
Damn it, how?
Ba'ashima Mashiach Yahushua.
Shalom, Israel. Stick around. Priest Maharakah will edify you more in the word. Hallelujah. Shalom.
Shalom.
But at least the one good thing, like the one, like, you know, positive thing from it is that this guy Nathan and his cause, with the, you know, the whole indigenous people's cause, is going to be elevated because everybody sees them in a positive light. in
Word.
this, you know, and that's what's good. That's what's important. The fact that their cause is going to get some amplification out of this, and he looks like a hero of it.
It might be on the next photo. I got a screenshot.
As we came up here, I was kind of hesitant to come up this far. But then I started thinking about the many relatives that have been torn out of sweat lodges and have been taken down. We demand that the students of Covington Catholic High School be reprimanded, not just by the school officials, but as seniors, but by their upcoming universities. We demand the Catholic Church hold themselves responsible for the 500 plus years of genocide that our indigenous people have endured and still persist through by implementing the following with reformation of land and reconciliation of indigenous peoples to the U.S. and across the world. We demand that the Catholic Church revoke the papal bulls related to the doctrine of discovery, which laid the foundation for religious prejudice and dehumanization of indigenous peoples. Further, I demand respectfully. Thank you very much.